Today on Mob Rules,
We talk about dick titties.
We slightly discuss how I'm getting better as a competitive player.
we ramble really bad this time. We go off topic a bunch
About dick titties.
about dick titties.
Yeah.
All that and all
So much more.
so much more
On
Mob Rules.
Hi.
What up?
John
What's going on?
John ate a pistachio.
I ate a pistachio. It was delicious. Welcome to Mob Rules. I'm John eating a pistachio, and I'm going to throw it away to other people.
How are those?
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Joined as always by Ted.
Hi.
How,
This is the salt and pepper.
salt and pepper. How's Ted doing today now that you're eating a pistachio?
No.
As we get sponsored by Big Pistachio. And joined by not pistachio eating Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Yeah, pistachios taste like dirt to me, so
It's like why we
What?
lost the
Yeah,
pistachio
sorry.
sponsorship right
Why
there.
do, why
I
do you
apologize.
What do you do?
2 out of 3 mob rulers think pistachios are the bomb.
That's not a bad hook. That's not a bad hook. How's everyone doing?
Oh, so good.
Doing good.
I have
Yeah.
to share the greatest thing I've ever found.
yeah?
One of our local guys, Hunter.
It was a pubic hair shaped in the
yeah, it was like shaped like
Gorbachev's.
I covered my
forehead.
eyes because last time he said this, he just whipped out his dick again. So
Dude, check out this pubic hair. It's amazing.
Oh man, we're gonna go into whipping out dicks later.
Whoa.
But
spoiler.
Damn.
like one of our local guys, Hunter, sweared by it for years, and I'm like, I'm not sure. But
The pubic hair?
this week I've assembled like 10 las cannon guys.
Oh, wow.
Forge World resin, kind of like underslung resin pattern las cannons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this for heresy or for...
Oh, for 40K.
Okay.
But super glue accelerator spray
Yeah.
is the goddamn bomb.
I've heard good things, but I'm always like hesitant to think that it can be as, I don't know, solid.
Useful. Yeah.
So it's like,
But I have no reason to, nothing to base it on.
yeah, if you've never used it, so you put your super glue on, you hold the joints together,
Yeah.
and then you spray like a little like a mouthwash spray bottle almost
Are you
over the super glue.
Are you a Gene Stealer cult member? Because if you're holding it together with 2 hands, how are you spraying it with?
In his mouth.
I go to my wife and I'm like, please spray the wrist, which is honestly what I did. But yeah, and it causes it to like instantly. It causes the glue to instantly set,
Whoa.
and it is super fast. It's a weaker bond, obviously, but man, it's a wrist to a las cannon that's supported in 2 other places. So who the hell cares?
True.
There was a guy, we had a hobby night the other night, and there's this guy asked me about, he's brand new to the hobby, so he went and, he figured out his own path versus, like, asking a bunch of nerds what to do. And so, of course, like, he has, like, other weird socialist ideas and pinko philosophies. But anyway, he has,
So
like...
you shared your paint with him, right?
Here you go, comrade.
He
The red is
distribute
especially
the
good.
Welcome to Ted's Hobby House.
But he had UV paint. It was like this.
Oh, wow.
It was like the super glue he
Ooh.
squirts on, and then like the other side of the glue is like this UV light, and it like instantly cures when you do. I don't know if you heard of it. Like,
No,
I've never heard of
but
it.
but don't shine the light on your hands when you're gluing,
I
right?
guess. There's all these weird futuristic things like accelerators and UV lights.
Back in my day, you glued together with Elmer's and you held it for 5 days, and then eventually you prayed it never broke.
Well, what was it like those old like cathedrals that took like 300 years for like the green concrete to set?
Yeah. I mean,
that's the way I'm used to things.
We're
300
all,
years.
we're all older guys here. We all remember second edition land speeders and the super
Sentinels.
glue,
Ugh.
Sentinels, and like holding super glue. Like, but man, this spray. I mean, I'm in love with it. It's amazing.
You should remarry it.
Yeah.
I'm going to marry it, and then just like when it's empty inside, it'll be just like me. Tangentially going off though, Ted, you mentioned you threw a hobby night or hobby day, evening night.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You had a really good turnout for that too.
Yeah. Did you look at the pictures
Yeah,
that
there was,
Dart
like-
posted?
There was like
Yeah.
9 of you guys and one very confused, scared-looking girl.
One very confused, hot-looking girl, which was the confusing part for the rest of us who watched it. Did
Well-
they hire a stripper? What's happening here?
Oh man, I
Ted's
feel
paid night plus stripper.
I feel really bad for her. I mean, well, not. Okay, so she comes to like a lot of our movies. Her name is Kristen. She's a good friend. And she goes to the movie nights, and the movie nights are relatively tame. Like, I mean, we get pretty rancid, but like that night, like that particular hobby night, like I swear to God, like it was as though everybody had just like hit the bottom of the bottle and just like was drunk as fuck. Like, I mean, it came complete with like broken window. So
Oh damn!
Oh, you didn't see that picture? Huh?
Oh, somebody broke your window?
Yeah.
Oh no!
But anyway, like, I mean, people are just. It was like Cheers, like X-rated Cheers. Like most people kept their clothes on, but like I think there was a point where I think like she got her old boss like down in the States like sent her a dick pic. It was like
During the hobby night?
Yeah. She's like, whoa, I just got a dick pic from this guy. And so we're like, what the fuck? And she's like, yeah. I texted him back, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to send it to you, but do you like it?" It's like, who the fuck accidentally sent something and then is like, "But do you like it?"
Someone who didn't accidentally send
Exactly.
it.
You know what? This is bad radio, but air quotes here. I accidentally send dick pics all the time to people.
So we got one of our buddies to like, or one of the guys had another guy like take off his shirt and take pictures of his nipple right up close and send it to him, and then took a picture of his lovingly sculpted body. Send it to him. I was trying to get her phone so I could do Batwing and send it to him, but yeah, like nobody let me have her phone. So.
No, I'm sure she doesn't want pictures of your dick on her phone either.
That's art, man. It transcends erotica.
Just because you're a famous Alaskan painter, that doesn't make it art when you
Don't
you,
censor me.
Batwing.
So that happened, and it was like a good time. But I think it was fun because like you had people like really kind of talking about like coming out of their shell and like discussing like their lives as well as like painting. So we had lots of like I would go around and kind of show people like, all right, here's a good way of glazing. Here, try this like airbrush technique and stuff like that. But yeah, it was mostly banter and yelling and stuff like that. And I think towards the end of the night, we had one guy was leaving. Him and his brother were taking off, and another one of my friends like kind of like ran at the garage door. We have all these windows in the garage door, and he ran. He was going to bang on the glass to like startle him, and he does that and puts his hand right through the window. And everybody's just like, "What the fuck?" And our buddy David like runs up behind him and takes a picture, so you can see like you see the broken window, and then you see Nick's face on the other side, like looking through, like holy shit, that just happened.
So did they take the picture of the window for insurance purposes?
So did said person get his hand out without slicing everything off, or was it a trip to the emergency room to end hobby night?
No, it was like big chunks of glass broken off, so he was fine. Although I think like the brother of the guy, the guy with the UV paint or
Probably
the UV
scared
glue,
the shit out of it.
yeah, apparently he felt like one of the pieces whiz past his neck. Like, that could have been something.
Nick, does everything feel? I feel it's something right about here, not here so much, but right about here. Yeah, dude, you're fine. Let's go. Do you mind if we stop at the emergency room on the way home?
Reattach my head, please. I heard orcs can do that. But it was a really good time.
So yeah, on top
I
of
got to
that-
get some more chairs.
I'm super excited for like our local scene in general now, because in that same day I ran a tournament which had maxed out with 20 people showing up. So we had like 2 separate events that had 30 people show to them.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was like super good. I was like super surprised we maxed out our turnout, which is I'm happy with. It's doing its job.
Yeah.
I wasn't that surprised, John. I'd stand out there and show a little leg, and then like every time somebody says, "Oh, I'm afraid to play in a tournament," dude, Ultramar, get over here, come on.
I like
Stop.
how like anybody's successes winds up with like Dave promoting it.
Oh, yeah,
Being
totally.
like, oh no, I'm the reason you're successful. I'm the reason you're successful.
Dude,
I did the thing.
I tried to pimp your hobby night to other people. Actually, they were talking about doing a hobby night on Thomas Hollering and Chris Fallon. They
cool.
were getting and Dave Palmier,
Palmquist, yeah.
Palmquist. They were like, hey, do you guys want to get together and hang out on Saturday and do a hobby night? And I said, hey, Ted's doing a hobby night at his house. Go over there and hang out and be do stuff with them. And they went, okay, we'll think about it. and then I got a message from Thomas later that was like, yeah, we decided not to go, but I see pictures of what's going on over there, and I'm kind of glad we didn't. I don't think that we could have hung with that young, awesome crowd.
And
I was
really,
like,
it sounds like they couldn't have.
It's like I said, an X-rated
No,
Cheers.
probably not.
Like, it got rowdy, but it was kind of fun. Like one of the guys, he's a really nice guy.
Willie.
Okay, well, but he was he's kind of inappropriate. You know, he just kind of says whatever's on his mind, and it gets him in trouble a lot. That's like a lot of us, I know, but more
beard?
so. No, he was there too, but
Yeah.
he's a
I know it
great
surprised
guy.
the shit out of me when I was like, is that him? Is that
Yeah.
really in pictures?
I'd seen him before, but I hadn't met him like officially. And there's a few people there I'd never met before, and just like knew online. And but anyway, like so it was cool because like he would start spouting like GW lore and stuff like that, and so we'd often get into like these big like arguments over whether or not
dick fights.
Yeah, no, it was fun. Like everybody arguing over lore and like whether or not. Oh God, I forgot like what it was. I think it was like something chaos related. You know, like so everybody like, well, did Horus do this one thing? No, I don't think it was this.
Horus did everything.
Yeah, so it was fun. It was good times.
You should just be like, please cite your podcast where they talk about that.
That's right. But it was cool. I think like most people that were there were like they would actually cite our podcast. Like, oh, what we said that? Oh, right. Sorry, I was there.
So how are
but absent.
how are Chaos Titans driven anyway?
I don't know, dicks apparently. According
I
to
get
Dave's Bible.
so like butt mad at some lore stuff, but like I'm getting like better at just not reacting, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Because like I saw one who was like, "Hey guys, do you heard that Eldar created the Tau?" And I don't think that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty good about just sticking to that now. I mean, that's my story.
One of our friends, he's fairly new to the hobby, and he often cites 1D4chan for his. But at least he knows. He's like, I saw it on 1D4chan. Like, you know, that's like the Fox News of the GW lore.
Citing Breitbart.
Yeah. Like, I like Fox News. Yeah. Okay. But I love you, man.
Every time we do research for stuff, I always go to 1D4chan, and then I go to the other. I go to the real ones. I go to 1D4chan.
Don't tell people that that's where you get your.
So I
jokes
go to
from.
Fox News, and then I go to NPR afterwards.
Yeah, I go to Fox News, and then I go to NPR. Oh, right, they're idiots at Fox News. Got it.
Oh man, politics fun.
Yeah.
But, Dave, you played in my tournament.
I did.
How was your tournament experience?
Oh, it was fantastic.
How was the missions? I haven't talked to you about that yet. I designed like a whole bunch of missions for this. You can say crappy.
No, they were the missions themselves were really good. There was
Well, he didn't get first place, so they sucked.
Yeah.
Obviously.
The tertiaries were a little kind of hard to get at first.
Sure.
The first mission was everything was smooth. Second mission was kind of, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I believe I had to ask you, does the comet fall through when it comes in, does it fall through whatever? Or does it land on a roof? Because I was playing on a table it was just like covered in buildings. So it was like...
Sounds like a role-playing session.
Yeah.
Fortune narrative.
So what color is the comet?
I need to know, is it screaming in or is it just kind of drifting in lazily? What's it doing?
How many successes do I need to ride the comet?
So for me, like for the first 3 months, we were doing like kind of mixed open war missions and using the same kind of territories
awesome.
like Slay the Warlord and Linebreaker, but I got bored of them. Because we're doing the same 3 things all the time. So like I essentially went through the Halo achievement list and stole a bunch of titles off of there. And then when I was writing the missions, this was right at the time that the whole like Star Wars Battlefront 2 debacle was happening with EA. And like the tweet where was like, yeah, we want to give players a sense of pride and accomplishment. So I'm like, ooh, yeah. So like my favorite tertiary mission, which is worth 1 point that I put in, was called Sense of Pride and Accomplishment, where you get a bonus point if you kill your opponent's cheapest unit with your most expensive.
Which I did.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And it made...
Did it give you a sense of pride and accomplishment?
It really did, because in order to score that one with the list I was running, I had to kill a unit with a repulsor, and he hid his unit behind that building on the ground floor, so I couldn't see it. So I had to assault it with a repulsor in order to kill it. It was just standard some psyker or company commander or something some generic low like 35 point that he had to have for whatever his list was
it was
running.
Matt Morse, right? It was Acolytes.
Yeah, Acolyte.
So you know the fun thing about that? Your 340 point tank killed an 8 point unit.
Yep.
What?
Acolytes are 8 points each. Units of 1.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
And
the
I
best
had
pride
to
and
move
joy or
across the
whatever it is.
battlefield to get him too, and we started long edge to long
Oh, wow.
So I think my favorite thing about that mission is you spend a 400 point tank all the way up the board to ram into one 8 point Acolyte.
ram through a building.
Yeah,
I had to
because
go
he
through the
couldn't
building
see him
first
because he was out of line of sight. Because Matt's a good player and played to the mission.
Right. So did I.
Okay.
But I won that one. It was actually.
You had a lot of very close games.
I had a lot of great games.
Oh yeah.
Turn 5 in round 2 would have been a dead tie, except that. Or I'm sorry, it would have been a victory for me. Except he managed
the other person
to.
showed up.
Well, I was playing against a gentleman that had brought a Baneblade, which when you have very few models on the table because you're playing all Primaris,
it's not as effective.
Yeah. Oh, it's very effective. Stuff was just getting nuked.
Oh
Is that one of those like the guns that it's D6 against unit less than 10 and 10 or 2d6?
I think it's just like D600 shots.
It was
okay.
And they're just like, hey, there's no armor modifier, but that's 200 wounds.
So
all right.
I
Mortal
went
wounds
first,
by you.
and I didn't know what the guns had,
Okay.
what it had on it, and so he parked his tank smart in the back corner of the map, and I knew there was no way I could get there with both repulsors to put out enough damage to hopefully blow it up in one turn. So I ignored it like an idiot, and he fired that big gun into one of my repulsors and did 32 wounds.
Good thing you got a 3-up.
Yay.
That was after the save.
Shit nuts, bro. Shit nuts. That's dropping knights.
And I went, oh, all right, okay. So that's what that gun does. All right. So here's what's gonna happen. We basically played Pong using a building in between the tank. He had to move his tank forward to try to shoot. I would move the other repulsor the other direction, keeping the building between it so he couldn't see it.
Oh wow.
It came down to him making a successful charge in order to win the game.
So that was just a regular ass Baneblade, right? Or is that a variant?
Some
variant?
blade or sword.
Okay.
Or,
Yeah, it was a
Shadow sword
Baneblade
or-
of some sort, but it was
Okay.
just whoops. So there goes one third of my army in,
jeez.
in a hit. That's pretty brutal.
Okay.
But yeah, he made a charge with his Astra Militarum commander, who had like inspiring charge, special, warlord trait or whatever, and managed to make the charge, which actually gave him the secondary, and he had one more tertiary than I did, so he won instead of losing because I had the objective.
I took your land.
I was pretty pissed.
Yeah.
And then he assaulted me with the Baneblade
What a dick.
because he charged it into trying to take the objective that was in a building.
Oh man, I bet that's gotta have some pretty good armor modifier
I
too,
love
right?
those last-ditch efforts.
Yeah.
And I think ramming you with a tank is like 0 armor modifier.
It actually, a Baneblade has actual like real CC stats. They're not like a repulsor, which just runs into something and
Right.
you have to roll super lucky and hope they fail their armor save to die.
When you're the size of a medium-sized house, you're kind of landing on people
guess.
like it fucks them.
I don't know.
Fucks your brother up.
I don't know. I read Shadow Sword. I don't remember the tank being that impressive in close combat.
Yeah.
So
It was attached with knives.
Yeah.
They taped some knives to it.
They have fixed bayonets to every tread.
Every tread. That's a lot of treads.
the third round was against Brian Roten, who's a really good opponent.
Oh, cool.
And
Yeah, it is a Craft World Elder with him, right?
that list was tough. And I pulled out a win by realizing after he'd finished moving in the 5th round that
That
all
if he
I
broke
had
all
to
his models, he
do-
would just leave.
Yeah, he would cry. That I just had to move my repulsor forward 3 inches in order to win the game.
Oh, wow.
And I told him, I said, you need to blow that up if you want to win. Because right now, we're tied. Or if you don't want to tie, you got to blow that up. If you don't blow it up,
Tying's boring.
yeah, I'll win.
You literally played my favorite mission that I made up.
The Super Line Breaker.
Super Linebreaker Ultra Hyper Edition Plus featuring Pitbull
So-
was the official name of the mission on the page.
So do you and Nate test these beforehand?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Yeah, he talks about it on the podcast and then hopes people play it at home. And then,
That's the
It,
testing.
it was mainly like they're Frankenstein like objectives from missions from several editions. And then after all the games, when people were handing the papers, I was like, "How was the missions? Was it clear? Was there anything else? Did it seem fair? Did it seem impossible? Kind of." And the way I'm doing it is just we're making adjustments as it goes along, and almost FAQing them on a month-by-month basis to kind of get going.
Okay.
And I'm sure we will play some of them to kind of fine tune it. But yeah, mainly it's just kind of getting what works and kind of trying to line up. I'm going to change a bunch of the tertiary missions around because some of them were kind of not necessary. There's like a lot of duplication and things like that where like I felt that like
Yeah, round 2 had line breaker and one that was table quarters, and it just kind of
so that didn't really work out like when I read it there. So there's where my playtesting went when I should have really noticed stuff like that. But
Whatever.
yeah, everyone seemed to have fun. It was another great atmosphere. Now getting people like the want to play that can't play. So that's my moral quandary right now. But it's I'm super surprised that I'm not surprised, that's wrong. Like Gene, the owner of the Tier 1 store, does a really good job of kind of promoting it to the new guys. I think we had like a 14-year-old guy there. 15?
Oh wow.
You talking about Parker?
Yeah, no, there was not Parker. There was a young guy.
Oh, he had to have been probably one of Parker's friends then.
Yeah.
Parker's a cool guy. I played against him a couple times. He's nice.
So it's kind of nice to see kind of newer kids coming in. We have some older guys coming back.
I love watching Leon have a blast at these tournaments.
And what's super nice is like we maxed out at 20, and at least 7 or 8 people said that they wanted to come but couldn't for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
So I mean it's amazing to me that we have such a high turnout kind of consistently now for these things.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm super happy that like between both the events that we ran that day, there's like 30 people going, which I think is kind of a testament to how amazing the game is right now. And
how's your hobby going? Did you get any painting done? Or?
oh yeah. So I assembled and painted. What's his face? Cullen, the Leviathan Dreadnought.
Oh, really?
So I got him to kind of tabletop
Where is
standards minimum. He's in my car.
Oh, darn it. But I gotta do some
him,
paperwork. Leave my office alone for a while.
I got to I got him kind of a 3-color minimum. But I painted him gold to go kind of with my Imperial face. My friends were like, well, why didn't you shave off the scorpions and stuff? I'm like, I don't know. What's Latin for scorpion? Yeah, this is like...
Latin for scorpion is fist.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it Imperius un fistis?
This is Kirkus Scorpus. Some Imperial fist captain. But no,
he died by a scorpion. It was really tragic. They just like took over in bunker 324 and the scorpion bit him.
Orcs by himself and died to a scorpion. It was terrible.
I know, fucker, you don't die like that. But yeah, it was. I know this is weird to say about putting that model together. He was just a Leviathan.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the first one I put together, so it went together super quick. The detailing is super nice. They have like tiny little honors that are meant to be like glued to him. And I'm like, nah, not good. He hasn't earned those. So I put those together. I put together Cassin as well, the new chapter master for the Red Scorpions from that 2-pack. So I had those guys put together, and that scenic base is just gorgeous. So well done.
Yeah.
So I put together all my Red Scorpion characters. Like I said, I assembled 10 las cannons.
Yeah.
Getting ready for my try-hard list. And I think that's about all I assembled. Oh, Sentinel as well. A random Sentinel and some Bull just because I wanted to.
That's right. You were talking about that last time. I can't remember if you'd put it together last time or you were going to.
I think I was going to.
Oh, okay.
But like I assembled them with the grenade launcher hands and the shields. And now I want 6 with the mace to put in my Valkyrie.
The Bullgren?
God damn it. So I can take them in my 2nd edition list, Ogren, and I'm really tempted to. I don't know if they're going to be that effective, but I like the idea. Like I want to buy them just so I can do that one game.
2nd edition Ogren was my first orc war boss, where I just took the head away and put an orc head on it.
Nice. Very beastish.
So my war boss in Gorka Morka was an Ogren bodied orc. He was not on the little round base.
Oh. So
it's a football.
Kurt and I played a 2nd edition game last night.
Oh yeah. I saw your pictures there.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Like I read most of the book, and of course, like you look at it, it's like less than 100 pages. Yeah, it's relatively thin, but it's dense as fuck. Like, I think I cruised
7
through
columns a page or something.
Oh god, well. I think it's like there's so much like fluff and like other stuff, but then like rules will be buried in fluff. So like when I read, you read through a lot of the other rule books, you can kind of gauge like, okay, this is fluff. I can skip that because it's all in italics. Now I can just read like the regular print and understand what the rules are. But it's like, yeah, it's all like married. So you're like, oh, god damn it. And like, then you skip what you think is fluff. And then later on, you're like, wait a second, it seems like a key part. Where did they say how to hit? And like, all right, I got to go back to the previous page and read the entire thing. And like the rules are, I mean, I think like, I was looking up to see what people were saying about second edition, and like all these people were like, oh yeah, this is like the penultimate edition, like it's the most realistic, it's the best version, et cetera, et cetera. I think there's still like some holdovers. But I remember when third edition came out, like it was a very divisive. I don't know if you remember that.
But yeah, because it moved from kind of like small scale Hero Hammer to kind of big battles,
and it was comparatively, it was very realistic. I mean, you had like there's all these like tables and concepts and stuff like that. Like you throw a grenade and it's like, was it strength times 2 + 2 or something like that? Like,
yeah.
And then if you shoot a blast weapon, you can only scatter up to half the distance to the model that you're shooting at. Like you can fire at the ground. There's like hiding tokens and Overwatch tokens and I fucked your sister, now you're upset at me tokens. Like there's all sorts of crazy stuff.
I mean, I feel you wouldn't need a token to remember that, but that's just me.
Usually those people don't talk to you, so I don't have to worry about it. Except for the
Why
one guy.
are you talking to me? Oh yeah, the token reminded me.
Right, thank you. So it was, like Kurt hadn't played the game since second edition, and like I'm trying to like breeze up on it and then talk to him, and like he's kind of. I mean, he's a very like typical engineer, so when he starts like looking at things, it's very analytical and mathematical, and so that was really kind of nice. So we're kind of like teaching each other the game after a while.
Like honestly, I don't think there's a better teacher for you for second edition than Kurt.
Yeah,
I gave him the rule books in 2 nights, and he'll have you down.
Oh, but he had all the books. So he was just like, I'll let you do it, Ted. I was like, dude, you really shouldn't do that. So, but it was kind of fun. Like, one of the first things we do, like I had. He played Space Wolves, and he had like I think a 10-man unit of Grey Hunters, a 5-man unit of Terminators, a 5-man unit of like mixed weapon Long Fangs,
right.
And then a Lord and a Dreadnought. What are the character the Fell-Handed or whatever?
Bjorn,
right?
Fell-Handed,
and
Bjorn
and a Rhino. Bjorn. I had was it like a bunch of boys, like just smattering of different like Storm boys with jump packs. Like there's freebooters with that were turned into flash kits because I took Bazaruk, and then a weird boy, and then a drill bot. Anyway, so there's like I had a bunch of shit.
Did you have a big metal dreadnought?
I didn't bring that one, but I brought the other one that I had.
Did you bring a cardboard cutout dreadnought?
I really want to. I didn't. He had it. So I ordered because all I have is the books. Mm-hmm. I didn't get all the other stuff. So I ordered. I went on eBay and I ordered like the other shit that comes in it. And or I didn't order. I bid on it, and then later on, like the next day, I was like, "Oh wow, here's somebody who's selling all that shit plus all the Dark Millennium shit for the same price." Like, fuck. Well, I better bid on that. Oh, I won both of those. All right, so I got all sorts of extra cardboard shit.
You should email and be like, "Hey, whoever's attending the second edition 40K, I have all this for only 10% more than I paid for it plus shipping."
Well, I figure if people up here like want to play, like I could lend them that stuff. So, and it's like,
can I use my Primaris?
I'm
out.
Yes.
Then. I'm out.
I mean, he said yeah, so you're like, can I use my Primaris? Yeah, fuck you, I'm out.
Sorry, I wasn't expecting that. I had the I'm out. I had that already on.
It was
deck,
already queued.
It's too late. It's in the
on.
pipe. Oh.
So, but I think like one of the cool things, like you give your flash kits like a war gear card. You can give them. Normally, war gear cards are just for characters. Mm-hmm. So flash kits get a war gear card. I gave them all like the custom Shuda, which gives you like variable strength, which is an artillery dice. So it's like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 misfire. And then I think they also get like a variable. Oh, it's also sustained fire dice. So it's 2, 3, 1, 2, or 3 shots or jam. And so I got this open top vehicle with like 11 of those guys, and I shoot it as Terminators, which are like, was it 3 up on 2 dice? So like you have to roll 2 1s in order to fail normally. Yeah. And so I shoot at them. I'm like, I got a couple guys with strength 10. Well, there's a chart over here that says that based on the strength, you get additional modifiers. So it's strength 10 that becomes -7, plus it normally has a -2, so you're -9 to your armor save. What the fuck? So like I wipe out his unit in like one round of shooting, and we're both like, damn, that was effective. Wow. And we're both like just like beside ourselves, like the entire tone of the game just entirely changed. You're like, yeah, that's second edition, huh? Right on. So like a few moments later, Kurt's like, no, that's only in hand-to-hand that you get these strength modifiers, so it's only -2. Like, oh.
You're like, I'm sorry, whose books are these? This meeting's over.
Excuse me, can I see this? Can I have it back? No. So it turns out like I only got the -2. He made all but one of his saves. I think instead of only having one of my guys jam, I had one guy have his gun explode and then 3 other guys like jam their weapons. Like fuck, and they're all in a battle wagon, so I figure like everybody can shoot. Later on, at the very end of the game, he's like, "Oh wait, here's this open top rule. Apparently, you actually fire from where you are on the battle wagon." And there's like this big pile. It's like an ice cream ball of orcs. The gun sticking all over. It's like, oh, so I only could have shot with 1, 2, 3 guys could have shot you. Damn. Well, okay.
It's like hashtag second edition.
Yeah. They're just like, it's so dense.
Did Kerr pull out any vortex grenades?
He did not. And
I remember vortex grenades.
Oh, yeah. He was saying that like the one game he played in second edition, I think it was against one of the local guys, Grant, and he dropped down with I don't know, some Terminator guy, threw like a vortex grenade, wiped out half his unit, then proceeded to like mop the floor with him.
I remember Abaddon in second edition being just awful. Space Wolves were particularly bad because they had so many characters, and like Hero Hammer was strong in that edition.
And that's like I think like I walked into that thinking like, okay, orcs, you throw enough guys at them, and eventually you win.
Nope.
Yeah, so I think the basic weapon skill for a Space Wolf is like 5 or 6. So, yeah, you don't win. You just don't. So, I got handed quite a bit. Like, even in hand-to-hand. I think I probably only killed a couple guys. But there was like a one victory moment with a shock attack gun. I was like pumping like all these grots at this dreadnought for a while.
Because you had to have grots beside you in shock attack before, right?
Yeah, so it like the first 2 turns I whiffed. I just couldn't hit him worth anything. And then the third turn, I finally hit the dreadnought. It was kind of like, fuck, whatever. I'm just going to throw the remainder of the grots in there because we're going to call it after this. It was like midnight. And so I shot in there. I actually hit the dreadnought, rolled 4 dice, and 3 of them wound up 6s, which is a bunch of grots hang out inside the thing and start piloting it. And so it spins random directions, moves artillery dice in distance, and shoots whatever's in front of it. It immediately spun around and like shot up his guys. Like, oh, this is cool. He's like, that gun's broken. Dreadnoughts are horrible. They're so lame. Like,
oh man,
yeah.
So,
it was good.
Nice.
I got a lot of learning to do before the Adepticon.
Talking about orcs, though.
Yeah.
At the end of the month here in Anchorage, we do have a 2,500 point gladiator tournament.
Ooh.
So it's a no restriction format. So people are like taking warhounds.
Wow.
All kinds of Forge World. I'm super amped for it. I made my list actually the day of the Ultramar Cup. I'm going to take 180 boys.
Wow.
And 3 war bosses.
Wait.
My Squiggoth.
Oh, okay. Like, wait, that doesn't add up.
So yeah, the list I made when I was there was all right, 2 battalions.
Okay.
With 90 boys each. A war boss. Well, one has a war boss in Gazgul Thraka. Another has 2 war bosses. A gargantuan Squiggoth, which is only 450 points this edition.
Damn.
How in the hell it has 35 wounds?
It went down too, didn't it?
Oh yeah.
Chapter approved.
Yeah. Oh maybe. I'll check.
I can't remember.
But yeah, a gargantuan Squiggoth. 15 Ludus to just kind of hang out in the howdah. And then 9 flash kits just because I have points left over.
Oh, nice. So 2,500 you said?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. How much is a Reaver Titan?
I think 4,000 or something.
Oh crap!
Like that.
All right, never mind.
But like,
I actually don't think a Reaver's that much because a Warhound's only like 1,500.
Well, the main thing for me is like people are saying, "Well, I have no punch." There's gonna be Warhounds there. I'm like, yeah, but a Warhound can kill at most 30 models a turn.
Mm-hmm.
I have
it's 5-turn games, man.
Yeah,
that's 180 or 150 boys.
Yeah, I have more than that by like 100.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but you have less than that if you're losing 30 a turn.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I have enough command points. Ignore, and then there's a command point to merge units together.
Oh wow. That's the thing with those big units like those. Like they're really good at punching something really well. Yeah. That's about it.
So yeah, like the idea is just 180 shooter boys, which I think the math is like almost 400 shots a turn.
Yeah, and about like 12 wounds.
Yeah. Well, no, 12 hits.
Okay.
3 wounds. But yeah, I'm excited to just relax. I haven't played Orcs this edition yet. And so yeah, I might as well do it en masse with literally every single boy I own.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So yay, back to the Orcs.
Yay. Woo. Well, for a little bit.
Summer of Orcs.
Then back to Last Cannons.
Cool.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking forever.
Yeah. We'll may as well turn it off.
All
right.
That's done.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you guys doing the thing.
Oh, I want to say thank you to the guy who was sad that I didn't do a Christmas-themed carol.
Oh, yeah. That was really nice.
I'm like,
that was
yes.
definitely like one of my favorite episodes. Partially because I wasn't there.
The one of my, hey man, I did this. And then also, the Black Library is having their open submission period right now as well. Mm-hmm. Just got me all kinds of janky excited.
Yay! You can be an author.
I don't know. Because, main news, they're bringing back Inferno magazine.
Oh, word?
Oh, shit, I could write for Inferno.
That's why.
Hold on, I could actually write for that.
That's why they're
It's still a zine, right?
Yeah, that's why they're putting out the open submission. And it's very open on what you can write and things like that. But
Nice.
because they're going to bring back Inferno with like established and new authors and stuff like that. So I'm like,
Okay. That's dope.
my dream of like making Ocean's 11 and the 40K universe is like back on.
This is a plan. This is a
With
really good
Death
plan.
Watch Space Marines, just being very serious about the whole thing. And Julia Roberts, because she's delightful.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's it. Let's go ahead and take
Yeah.
a break, and we'll come back and talk about something else.
The new Mark IIIA uses a ceramic overplus steel with a buttressed carbon composite frame.
What? Oh, yeah. Which one of those is it?
All of them.
Oh, neat. Hey, is this a cup holder?
Yes, the driver's compartment has a cup holder as an optional accessory.
No way. Shut up. Cup holders?
Well, not everybody has a life support system, so for the exploratory group of mortals we felt,
Cup holders? I'll take it.
Mark IIIA also has a traditional quad thermoreactor.
Hey, do you think I could try it out?
Well, of course, the ignition is on the dash right.
I brought my favorite travel mug. I got it in this amazing bakery in the Segmentum just outside of Armageddon a few years back. Oh my gosh. Perfect fit.
So anyway, as you can see, the new Mark IIIA has a power coupler interface in the top hatch to allow for modular weapon components that can be...
Does this have a heater in it? I hate it when recap gets cold. If the coffee holder had a heater, that would just make my day.
We hadn't considered that, as most chapters use a Stardust drivers, and most of you as Stardust don't drink recap. But I suppose we could build you something.
Great, you tech priests are the best.
Do you want to see the comms unit specs?
Nah, I'm good.
Is there anything that can...
No, we'll take 11 of them. Thank you. The Emperor protects.
Space Marines hate change. How'd you ever convince him to upgrade to the new Mark IIIA?
Cup holders, believe it or not.
Oh, cup holders.
Brand new Mars pattern Mark IIIA Rhino. New with cup holders.
Yeah, I totally forgot we were even recording, so.
Oh, yeah. We're recording.
Yeah.
Hi, Dave.
Hi.
Welcome to our recording.
You're
Yeah, Bop.
all marrying my package.
You have a nice package.
I do. Well, Chaos Demons are coming out
go.
soon. And, we're on the
pink veiny
forefront.
part.
The forefront of technology.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that has to do with it. But
What does that have
Slaanesh.
to do with it? Okay.
I have to really
Slaanesh.
segue.
Slaanesh is actually a coder.
I don't,
he is the internet.
What?
Or she. That would actually make sense.
So,
Prince of Excess.
Slaanesh, the second of the gods we're really talking about. We talked about Nurgle before.
Yeah.
I was gross in
we?
discussing this.
I
Yeah.
remember that.
It was back when you were Sterling.
Yeah.
Oh.
Back in the day.
I was a good Sterling.
you were all right.
You're pretty good. But yeah, now the Dark Prince, I mean, this ties into the Ghost Warrior book we read a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
And of course, they have kind of Chaos Demon releases. Probably the most requested model line right now, I would say.
Only 'cause there's no hope.
Model updates and which I mean they had some fairly new
Well,
models.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, they have new models. I think the reason people miss those old sculpts, the old white metal, the fine cast sculpts. What was the guy, the sculptor's name who
I
did
don't
them?
remember. I don't know.
But it was all like titties and claws.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were gorgeous sculpts, but not for a publicly traded company anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of people are kind of sad about the PGization of Slaanesh.
And that's it's interesting because nobody's actually come out and said anything about it, but it's it's pretty I don't know, universally
nobody-
accepted that that's kind of what's going on. It's
Nobody
like,
at
all right.
GW has come out and said anything
Yeah.
about it, but there's been a ton of people that have actually complained about it. So
I mean, what do you mean the army when you're trying to attract a new player base just can't be like titties and dick claws all over the place?
Titties and Dick Claws was the name of me and Ted's radio show on UAA.
Were you
I
dick
was
claws or
titties.
titties?
I was titties. He was Dick Claws. I was fatter
Naturally.
then. So.
But I think that they're really absent in Age of Sigmar for the most part. Like a lot of their lore isn't as
So I mean,
prominent.
I
And
really enjoy what they've done in Age of Sigmar with Slaanesh. Is that he got kidnapped and he is missing, presumed held by someone.
yeah.
So he still has cult followers, and they're like very driven, purpose driven, because they're trying to find their god and kind of get that back. And I was like, that's to me is super super interesting.
So when it comes back, it'll be a Care Bear
Yeah, well, especially when
with a boob.
especially when you have like the horned rat almost replacing him in the Pantheon in Age of Sigmar. And for me, like, I don't see the model line being updated until he comes back in the Age of Sigmar flood.
Oh.
Does the Horn Rat really replace him though, or is it more?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't it more Nagash that replaces him?
No,
No,
the Horned
Nagash
Rat
is the he's a anti-chaos.
Yeah.
He's death. Chaos doesn't like him.
Yeah, but he's more powerful than the actual Chaos Gods in that
No.
realm. though.
But he's
Horned
just
Rat
he's not
is-
part of the party.
He's not part of the Pantheon. The Horned Rat is now. Like, it was hinted at for a long time in Old World flood.
Yeah.
Old World writings, but now it's official. He's on the Pantheon of Chaos Gods.
All right, I'll trust you on
Who knew? Now you can have a bunch of rat screen troops
I'll-
for your Chaos army.
that. I only live. I only listen to a 40K podcast, so I don't know anything about Age of Sigmar. So
So I guess like getting into Slaanesh. Slaanesh, of course, is the newest of the four gods. Only
Little
been around
baby.
for 10,000 years.
Yep. Yep.
So
But gestating for like 5,000 years before that, which I found like super interesting.
yeah,
Like just a little fetus Slaanesh, like attached by the umbilical cord to the Eldar craft world, where
just feeding off there.
they're coke and hand job parties. Yeah, I just kind of sat there and really, I thought, like I said, I didn't think. I think like I thought all of a sudden he just appeared because they got like super deviant one night, but no, like he was
It was a build-up, huh?
slowly
Yeah.
building up for years, and then and I'm sorry to jump in all
No,
over
no.
here, Ted.
yeah,
He's not.
But what I liked,
I know.
what I liked was that like he was kind of, or I'm sorry, it's Eldar, which I learned Eldar refer to it as she.
right.
Was kind of like growing in power as the Eldar fed her psychically, and she fed the Eldar psychically to get more and more. So it was like this like
Symbiotic.
parasitic,
Oh, yeah,
symbiotic
okay.
Relationship going on here. And yeah, I didn't know that before going in here. That it's
Oh,
like
I didn't know that either. That's
that
interesting.
she was responsible for kind of driving those hedonistic desires, kind of like a parasite loop to kind of get the Eldar to be more deviant so she could feed more.
well, that's pretty much Slaanesh's main MO. I mean, let's look
I was
at,
actually going to say that, so if you wouldn't mind
My bad.
backing up, and then
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
say
yeah,
it.
yeah.
So it's
Only I can
modus
talk over
operandi
Ted.
for Go ahead.
I mean, like even in Shadow Sword, right?
Yeah, mhm.
The that
Sneak
fed
in there, nobody
fed
knows,
Fed
feed
those
it.
desires, fed those desires to get what they wanted, and they got it. To gain more power.
the
So-
next thing you know, your whole world blows up. Metaphorically speaking, unless you're Eldar.
Right. Yeah. That then world blows up. You create the Eye of Terror.
Yeah, that I didn't fully
See,
understand like the level of shit that happened like from her birth. Like I didn't realize that. Like I mean, I got like the Eye of Terror thing. I got like all the craft worlds and so on.
Well-
but like eradicating almost all of the Eldar gods, taking Cain and fracturing it into pieces and spreading it throughout the known universe. Like
Kidnapping Isha and then having Papa Nurgle come in and be like, no, it's my bitch.
yeah, that was cool. That was classy
Yeah,
as
yeah.
fuck. Like Papa Nurgle being
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
"Hey, new booty, get out! Look, know your place.
Yeah,
this is
see-
my sex toy."
See, one of the things that I read was that Nurgle basically would just like slap. You need to learn that you are not
Yeah.
top tier here in this quadruped. I don't know.
I think
Sure.
that's the kind of
I might have had a stroke there. Then slapped him around, just walked right into his domain and was like, "Demons, kill all of his demons, and I'm taking her, and you're not going to do anything about it. See you later, bye." Because I think he defeated him by giving him a zit, and he was just like, "No,
I'm not perfect.
So, and another really interesting thing I read, kind of based on the age and it being the youngest god, is like how time is different in the warp. And it
Oh,
was
yeah.
described how to the other Chaos Gods, Slaanesh has always existed in the warp, yet also has never existed in the warp. Which is pretty fucked up, because I'm sure she's always existed until like a birthday or like a Christmas. And then she never existed. And then the day after, she exists again. So you don't have to do any of that young Pantheon of God gift-giving events.
And it neatly ties in the old realm and the new realm.
Corn, I wanted an Xbox.
No, the devil wants a PlayStation.
Yeah, but the billions lost. And I thought it was something else I didn't realize that I thought was really cool was the its name came from two Eldari words, right?
Yeah, corruption of Eldari words.
Sla meaning ecstasy and pleasure, and Neth meaning lord or prince. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Like,
Almost
fuck you guys.
Prince of Pleasure. I also learned about the proper pronoun for Slaanesh.
Ooh, what's that?
Which for
His/her.
Humans is him. For
yeah.
Eldar is her, but is technically genderless. So they're both being very insulting.
Hizzer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you just assume my chaos
Yeah.
god's gender?
And then the only other note I have here at the top here is I wrote you're a chaos god Ari, because the Eldar only refer to her as she who thirsts, which is very Voldemort-esque. Or I guess Voldemort is very Slaanesh-esque.
Oh my god!
I think the way Eldar talk like just drive me insane. It's like anytime you're like, oh, let's have an old world dialogue. It's like some descriptive of their name, of who they are, and that's
All right, so
runs with wolves.
Slaanesh, the Prince of Lies, Prince of everything else, is born.
Yeah.
And this, maybe I'm not completely up to date on like actual map and retconned what isn't retconned, but saying that Slaanesh birthed the eye, created the Eye of Terror, which was the original hole into the warp, right?
From my understanding, yeah. So I think
but wasn't that always there? Because if you go 10,000 years, it was right at the same time as the Great Crusade, because they felt it, didn't they?
But here's the deal.
Didn't they? Wasn't it already there? I mean,
no.
Basically, if Slaanesh
So there was
been
like
born,
a little tiny thing there, but Slaanesh is born, and like when your wives and mothers are beautiful and they give birth, and there's like a giant tear. It's like the universe had a giant tear from the birth of Slaanesh, and there was not a doctor around to tighten that bad boy up. Oh. Yeah,
and then they got floppy.
Yeah.
Warp
split
hole.
the universe from tit to taint. It was bad times.
Eyeballs.
Oh, man. So basically,
there's a Nurgle demon prince right there.
Seriously, if Slaanesh and Nurgle had a baby, it's a vertical smile with poop all over it.
Gross. So basically, if that Slaanesh hadn't been born,
if Slaanesh hadn't been born,
would there have been a heresy? Would the chaos powers in the 30th millennium been strong enough to still?
I mean, yeah, because as the audio drama,
no spoilers, John,
of Malkadors.
No spoilers. Ted hasn't heard it.
So I mean, then no spoil. Well, then I can't answer your question without spoilers.
So the answer is no. Then
the answer is yes,
because if you had never heard it,
it would have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I hadn't researched the background.
If a Malkador falls in the woods and nobody's there to listen to the audiobook,
does it even make a spoiler?
If Malkador falls and no one's here to hear the audiobook, does Black Library pay the author?
The answer is maybe.
Sorry, Larry Golding.
So I thought that was something that was kind of interesting about the way the demons are created, or the way the demons are their physical shape.
Well, Ted, when a mama demon and a daddy demon love each other very much.
You got my eyes and my crab claw, and your mom's one uniboob. But their shape was based off of the Eldar, so who birthed them in the first place?
Yeah.
So that goes to,
right.
I don't know if you intended that.
Yeah, well, and then if you look at the actual model for the avatar of the Incarn from the Eldar,
he's got only
very Slaanesh demon-esque in its facial structure and its design.
Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Up to
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking the Vizark. I was thinking of the Vizark.
No.
I was like, he's covered in armor. How do you?
which I was like, man, that's just a Slaanesh demon. That's the first thing I was thinking.
Yeah, that's actually
interesting.
When I saw it, but then I remembered, it's made up of dead Eldar souls, so that's probably what it should look like.
I
So
would
it's a
prefer
chicken and the egg
crab
kind of
claws,
thing. Yeah. So Slaanesh is at odd with corn, but I didn't understand why.
So they seem to have really kind of done away with that whole,
Make love, not war.
Yeah, way back in the day, it used to be a serious offense. Like you could not take Nurgle and Tzeentch together. They would just fight each other.
Wait. Oh, right. Okay, that's right. That's the cross.
But that seems to be like, do what you want now. But so yeah, there used to be like a circle kind of a thing, like Korn likes this guy and this guy, but hates this one. And Tzeentch
like the
this
color
guy.
wheel.
Yeah.
It's like a really bad CW drama for Warhammer. But yeah, they've mostly done away with them. You ever watched the CW teen drama like Pretty Little Liars or something? They're all terrible formulaic
I have.
shows.
I was actually trying to just come up with a CW sounding name for the Eye of Terror. So it'd be like Pretty Little Terrors or.
So where did that rift come from? Because I know like one person described it as being like they're very opposite. Where Korn likes a swift, violent death, whereas Slaanesh likes the slow and like extraneous death. But
it's like a Klingon, Klingon on a Romulan fighting. Well, I guess not a Romulan, but like everything is like, oh, you waste time when you should just kill in battle, like Klingon stuff. Like Korn is Klingons. Just throwing some Star Trek your way, buddy.
Okay. Doesn't do me any good.
No.
So it
I
just
watched
came down
Next
to that.
Gen. Klingons aren't like that.
I mean, this is a 40K podcast, so I'm going to let that one slide.
So I think going back to how Slaanesh lures people in, something that I didn't quite catch was that, I mean, I got the whole like, the sensual pleasures and pride and stuff like that, but I think it was really broad, and it really like, I mean, Slaanesh I think is like the antithesis of human drive, in a lot of ways.
It's
like
so broad.
More Eldar Drive.
Are you proud of the way your child is behaving in school? Are you happy
Heresy.
with that new raise you got? And like all these things, like anytime that you are driven to try to improve yourself or want more,
Or you
you're
have
feeding
a passion
Slaanesh.
for something, like a stamp collector who really likes stamps. Is that he's like, I think kind of doing research into this made it okay that it wasn't just all dicks and titties and crap claws anymore, because like I said, it's really into kind of that pride and just like, and that's how the hook, that's how they get in is like, if you have ambition or pride, or like you have like a really special pair of socks that you like to wear, and they're your lucky socks, that's all like makes you like very susceptible to Slaanesh and kind of being controlled by that. There it was like it was really interesting to me, I guess, is that huge rambling 30-second rant.
Right. Yeah. So one of the things that in my reading that I noticed was it really felt like Slaanesh just pulls directly from the 7 deadly sins and how
Especially when you get to like his land, right?
Yeah, I mean, for like every ways they could corrupt you, it was literally just 7 deadly sin over and over again. Like
but
pride,
6 in this
sloth,
case.
lust. Sure,
but I got that too. It was like, oh, this is the Divine Comedy,
right?
Like this
yeah.
is.
And
ironically, I actually just watched 7 yesterday.
Oh,
and then I started research. I was like, it's as though Slaanesh was tempting me with this movie.
what's in the box, Slaanesh? What's in the box?
Oh my god!
I love that I read Slaanesh can see his hand at work across the galaxy when the joy a parent feels when a child is born, a pride a Commodore feels when his fleet executes a battle plan. And that gives Slaanesh, he feels a little good for that. And I just wrote a note here, good guy Slaanesh. He like looks at all this wholesome stuff happening across the galaxy and he's like, oh, that feels good.
But we'll try to kill you with it.
I really think that Slaanesh might actually be the most powerful of the gods, because everybody else draws their... What?
You're right. I mean, I think that like going to that,
but-
like it's not. She's actually she is like the weakest of the 4, but potentially, like I think that like potentially,
I feel like they once war and everything else is done,
Yeah.
the peace, Korn is fucked.
Excuse you, it's a far future and there is only war.
It can only be so grimdark eventually,
Yeah.
and light's going to turn on. Somebody's
Yeah,
going to
like,
turn on the light switch.
Nurgle and Korn are so
bright again.
situational, whereas like Slaanesh is like really broad,
and even
Tzeentch,
Tzeentch.
I don't understand.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean,
where do you get your power, Tzeentch?
Tzeentch gets his powers probably from all the psychers
From
and
batteries.
Yeah. He sits on a golden throne and draws all the powers and Lush guides people to the warp, doesn't he?
This is Ruby Throne.
I mean, they also said that like because Slaanesh was like the youngest, like it wasn't powerful enough to kind of take over everything on its own. But whoever
Which is good.
But whichever got it like allied with was then super powerful. So like they all court him to kind of get that edge against one another.
And one of the things I thought was really kind of neat is like, I mean, if they decide, and this is the unfortunate thing about like their marketing attempts, is like, how do we market the uniboob?
That's markets itself, Ted.
I mean, you should ask the Kung Pao people. They did it pretty well.
But you know, like she's also the one god that actually gets fed, could potentially get fed off the other gods. Like none of the other god. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess like if somebody goes to war, you could potentially get like a little bit of, like Korn gets a little boon off of Slaanesh going to war, but like. You know, anytime, you know, like a Korn berserker has pride in the killings, she gets fed. Like anytime a plague bearer is excited about a new pox, she gets fed. And so, like, I mean, really potentially has the ability to become the most powerful.
Where did I read it? So she steals from Korn regularly, which is...
Maybe that's why Korn hates her.
Shim steals from Korn regularly because Korn's guys really are full of pride because it's
probably
all
why
about
Korn's really pissed off with him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She's always stealing all of Korn's champions as they get more and more prideful. They.
What was it? Hershey.
No, every time he says the gender, I'm just going to correct him with the other gender regardless.
That's Hershey right there.
Hershey kisses.
So anyway, were you going with that, Dave, or was that it?
I think I might be done. I don't know.
Okay. Just entirely.
I can't find it in the page now because I had it on this page at work, but I didn't print it out, and so now I can't find it on the version.
So I think the Imperium, they get no love for the most part. Like anybody who reads into the fluff is just like, fucking Imperium. But this is actually the one instance that I'm like, oh, maybe the Imperium isn't so horrible for all us terrible human rights violations, because the Ministorum believes that a mind burdened with task and toil has no time for sin and will not give in to Slaanesh. Is kind of what they said, and like, and I wouldn't have really thought too much about that. I was just like, okay, that's overarching desire for total protectionism at the expense of human individual will. But now that I look at like all of the ways that Slaanesh can get her thing on, like that makes a lot of sense all of a sudden.
Yeah, no, for sure. And everyone's kind of toiling. I guess they're working hard so their eternal soul's okay, but having a crappy life because of it.
And isn't it like, you know, isn't it when there's usually a corruption, isn't it usually like the leisure class that seem to, at least from what we've read so far, it seems like the leisure class is the ones that like get nabbed by it, and it's usually the working class that find gene stealers.
So it's gene stealers ruled over by Slaaneshi demons.
They're hanging out by the Quickie Mart, whereas Slaanesh is hanging out by the Petroleum Club.
Everything I've read about Slaanesh makes him seem like drugs is what he is.
Okay.
When he first takes hold on a person, like everything feels really good, but then the more they do that one thing, it feels less and less good each time. So they have to kind of keep upping and doing more and getting more and more extreme to kind of get those good feelings. And it's like they're hooked on him. And that's kind of where we get these really bizarre like takeovers and planetary governors. Like I like the fact that it's just not, or I looked at the picture of Slaanesh, now I'm like totally evil, let's have orgies now. It's like a gradual gain from sanity to just insanity, chasing this kind of high that they've been given. And then taken away. You know, Slaanesh is sitting in the back and escalating. Like at first hit's free.
What's kind of interesting is like, so there's the Palace of Pleasure, which is in the heart of Slaanesh's domain. I think her domain.
Say Vegas.
But there's the six circles of Slaanesh you have to get through in order to get to Slaanesh. So you have to go through these 6 trials, and each one is kind of different. And this is kind of like the 7 layers of hell that you're referring to, Dave. But what I thought was kind of interesting is like one of the descriptions of one of the worlds. I wrote this down. Let's see, it landed around us. Riverbeds filled with rubies, gold, and other precious stones. Each person who visits is tempted to fill their pockets with a perpetual room for one more stone.
Oh man, that's like such a dick move.
Yeah, only room for one. Oh, I have another. Ooh, yeah, I get one.
It's like the Family Guy just like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
And then the lakes are made of the finest wines, but you have no goblet to drink from, and so you find yourself like lapping it up, and then next thing you know, you fall in. And they were talking about there's islands and where the land is made of these giant tables heaped with food and drink. And as you consume, like every bite is the tastiest food you've ever eaten, to the point where you burst, and you're not really like, you're so focused on what you're doing, they eventually just like die right there on the table, and the next person comes up and starts eating them.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Like they were eating, like they would start eating, and it was all like, "Oh man, this is the best food I've ever had." And then they would notice that it's a person, but it's so good that they keep going and going, and I'm like, "Oh, that's bad."
That was kind of like that banquet in Shadow Sword, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Like, oh, this is terrible, and they're killing each other, but I'm so thirsty.
Always so thirsty.
So like green as people.
So
I have and there's another circle of Slaanesh. The excess of bodily delights.
Oh, okay.
My little note for this is Pornhub 40K. Like this is essentially kind of walking down like a red light district, and having all the hookers kind of like, "Hey baby, you want to come over here?" and it kind of it tests a man's heart, you know, and his will to kind of go on there. I really like the whole idea of like these 6 different circles of like all the different ways you can be corrupted, and it gets harder and harder and harder to go. I mean, literally and actually. It's a super interesting security system.
Yeah, because I think like in order to get to Slaanesh, whether you're demon or man or whatever, you have to go through all 6 of these in order to get to the palace.
I want to imagine a bloodthirster just really pissed off walking through each of these.
It was like, I think they said that like only one person has ever made it to the palace and left. Like only one person has survived. But yeah, like the 6 circles, I think you have avidity, which is greed, gluttony, food and wine, of course, carnality, that's your red light district, paramountcy, the adulation and power. So as you walk down there's all these like throngs of worshipers and everything. Oh my God, you're so hot. Then 5 is vainglory. That's you're presented with your ideal self, and if you take pride in it, you succumb. And then the last one was indolency, which was bliss. So you find
That was
Shangri-La.
my favorite of the circles, and the last one that you have to get through is, the way I read it was described kind of like as being, you get there and you've gone through all of these trials and you finally made it, and it's just like a really sunny beach with like a deck chair and a Corona, and just like some Jimmy Buffett playing in the background.
Just chill.
And it's just like, and especially if you're in this really shitty future where you work a factory job for like 700 hours a week,
Yeah.
and you go home and you make babies so that you can work like 40 hours less because the baby can work. If you come across this, fuck yeah, I'm sitting in that deck chair.
Damn, I just think of that like crack selling baby from Dave Chappelle. There's a baby in that lady's vagina.
But yeah, I mean, how fucked up is it? Like, you have like a chaos god who's like ultimate, like last test is, here's some peace.
You know what's kind of weird is like, I mean, that is in, you know, with mankind, like we're often told like in our societies that, you know, finding that bliss, finding that like that glow is, I mean, that's your transcendent being, and you know, here it is, like the 6th level of hell. Like it's like,
Yeah. So like,
oh, you found bliss? Fuck you.
the ground comes up and starts caressing your body. The cherubs come up and remove armor.
That's hot.
It's like figures with like soothing hands rub your muscles. So I'm like, oh shit! So I've just been through like 5 literal layers of hell, and now I'm getting a back massage and a beer in front of a beach.
Yeah, you thought you won.
Perfect. that sounds like winning to me.
I mean, honestly,
up until
there's worse ways to die.
So that was going to be the, like, you know, a lot of these are so common, but like each person who goes through this, or demon or whatever, like their experiences are relatively the same, but each one is treated uniquely. So each one has an experience that's tailored to themselves, but within those, like that framework.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you think, you know, you said a bloodthirster's going over there. So if a bloodthirster's going there, do you think they get to the river of rubies, and instead of rubies, it's just a giant river of skulls, you know? Like,
Oh, I could put one of these in my satchel.
right.
I
you
could
know,
fit another
a
one
lot
in
of
there.
skulls,
Just one more skull. I have space for one more skull.
That's a big fucking satchel.
right? I mean,
Santa bag.
I can just see like the skull for the skull throne. Oh, well, one more.
Yeah.
Skull for the skull throne. Oh, one more. Like 8 hours later.
I don't
Skull
think Korn
for
is
the
getting
skull
very
throne.
far. Korn is not getting very far, and they're gonna like lap up the river, and it's all blood, and yes, no, drowned. But I thought it was kind of like the people who have self-doubt are the ones that break free of illusion. So like people that have like shitty self-images, nerds would pass with no problem.
Jokes on Slaanesh, I hit myself.
My mom didn't hug me enough as a kid. I'm going to Slaanesh. Yeah.
The palace.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Slaanesh's palace. I
No, but
mean, you would imagine this giant armored fortress and
So there's conflicting messages. So
okay,
there's two different. I think you're going with one of them, and I think I agree with that one. But multiple theories because nobody's ever returned except for one person.
The one I have is just a garden with a bunch of really nice statues.
Everybody agrees on that, yeah.
Like an old English country manor garden. Mm-hmm. And what was the other one?
But that was it. That was part of like I think you were going. I was anticipating you going to the next step, but like I think everybody has said that. Yeah, like because I think that's the last step. Like you get to the palace and there's like these exquisitely like ebony. What was it ebony or alabaster trees?
Statue. Oh, alabaster trees,
and they were perfect. But at this point, you come there and there's absolutely no guards, there's no demons, there's not anything going on. But by the time there's song in the air, like the air is crisp and clean, and then Slaanesh shows up and you die.
Smiles,
yeah,
completely disarms them.
I like that he's essentially like Medusa. This is my favorite part of this, but it's essentially Medusa, where if you look at it, you die. Or you fall, or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, oh man, see now my Black Library submission idea. One of them right there is you have like a bank job you're doing in like a hive almost.
So this is
where you have like a crew that are there to steal some priceless art from this collector's vault, and turns to be like a picture of Slaanesh. But it opens it up to demonic possession because it looks at the picture.
My chest plates, a little pressure coming in there.
Only on the left side.
Yeah. I just have to be less descriptive about how hard he gets when he sees the picture.
So the next one, I think this is the contentious part, is like nobody quite knows what the palace looks like.
Sure.
So some say that it was...
Well, because if no one's ever left, how can you report
one person has. Like? But yeah, we haven't found him yet.
I think it looks like a big dick.
So one theory is that it's a simple house. That way the grandeur of Slaanesh is like all the more like apparent. Like you have nothing to contrast it to. You bring your ugly friend so you look better to the party.
Like the Prince of Pleasure just kind of crawls out of like a tiny hobbit hole.
A double wide.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Look at me.
See,
I'm amazing.
Hansel from Zoolander hanging out outside like a little farm cottage. Like, sup.
Hanging out with the Packies. So, and then the other one was that it was the most exquisitely crafted the palace that stretched for miles, both vertically and horizontally.
Well,
giggity.
Could it possibly be that the people reporting back are reporting on what they see because
nobody's been back?
Well, I mean, you keep saying one person.
Okay, so we can get to there. One person who we haven't come across, supposedly in the last codex, there was one person in silver armor who is often referred to as the Silver Knight, came into the throne room.
Karl Franz.
And he drew his rune-crusted sword to kill Slaanesh, but when Slaanesh turned around, he was turned to her... his and became a servant of Slaanesh. That person is more likely Drago.
Yeah, it's just not everything can be Khaldor Drago.
Yeah. Well, he went back into the old world.
Did a demon get defeated? It was Khaldor Drago.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but he's on the Eastern Fringe. Nope, Khaldor
Drago. He's kind of like the Grey Knight's version of Cypher.
He's everywhere and nowhere.
Yeah.
Maybe he's being corrupted, and there's actually like 50 demons that look like Khaldor.
Drago, you never take your armor off. It's fine. It's getting a little ripe. I'm not taking off the armor. Okay, got a helmet.
So one of the things I think that when the Emperor decided to create the Space Marines, he had Slaanesh in mind, right? So, or to some degree, because I think like he decided that he was going to create like this uncorruptible entity that took no pride in its own accomplishments, took no, like everything was very selfless. It was for the Emperor and truly for the Emperor. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that didn't fully work.
I mean, how do you create this massive military force? It's going to take this giant undertaking of retaking the entire galaxy, but don't be proud of doing it.
Yeah,
just do it.
You do major brainwashing, which is a huge part of the indoctrination.
I think like you could almost like look to the nonprofit world as like evidence that there are people that are altruistic and will do things for absolute a pittance of income, but they usually burn out in about 5 years.
We get it, Ted. You run an art commission.
That's not a nonprofit.
No, I'm kidding. It's not a
Wait.
nonprofit.
I get paid $0, not $5 an hour.
But no, yeah, you're absolutely right. And they were kind of created that way, but then they made the mistake of giving very hot-headed, huge personality Primarchs, which shaped the Legion in their image, which is, as they are wont to do. Which caused especially Fulgrim.
Who?
Fulgrim.
No, he's dead.
No, really.
The Voldemort
boobs.
snake boob. The very vain Primarch who managed to get himself possessed by a sword like some cheap Disney film. He was married like a bunch before they even picked him up and gave him his Legion.
Oh, wow.
And I have to say,
Well, it's a fair trade. 1,000 dudes for 5 wives.
I mean, I got to do the research on Fulgrim. Sounds really exciting.
yeah, apparently he
Okay.
got married a whole bunch of times when he was in his original, before he was found.
Okay.
He probably just wanted to look really cute as a bride all the time.
He's like Hugh Hefner.
And he was
I'm sorry, what was that you just said?
he wanted to look really, really good. But I mean, they probably picked him up with, "Hey man, do you have any kind of genetic defects? Any glaring personality problems?" Like, "No, I'm fabulous. Where's the cocaine?
I'm perfect.
Where is the cocaine? And also, this armor will now do purple, more purple. How's the tank? More purple.
It needs to be suede.
Suede and purple." Oh, Dave,
Doesn't have
please do a
chest piece.
repulsor that's suede.
It's you. Well, the back doors don't open to my repulsors. They're already purple, but they are suede on the inside.
No. I want you to do an
If it was Fulgrim's, the back
external-
doors would
God.
open.
I want you to do an external suede repulsor, a suede pulsor.
I don't know that I could pull that off. I mean,
So I want
we
you.
gotta find a purple suede.
Would you like to touch my repulsor?
I want you, to make this repulsor. And
Okay.
I feel
I'm listening.
it can be done with if we can get colored flock, like static grass style flock, that would kind of give a suede style finish. Then I also want you to get like a little Bluetooth speaker on the inside that just plays Purple Rain whenever you move
Oh,
it.
wow. You could do this.
So I have to get a Bluetooth speaker that is motion activated.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Only
every
way
time
you
I
dance
move-
perfectly.
We're all talking about stuff that's technologically possible in
Right.
this day and
Yeah.
age.
So I need to. So in that case, that Marbo I brought you costs $182.
What?
You owe me
I mean,
$182.
I know
for
I'm not great at math, but a 15 pound and the exchange rate is probably not $182.
No, that's not a pound symbol. That's a 1,000 symbol. You see so you see the
It's a scientific notation.
I'm sad I opened it now because I can't afford a $15,000 company commander for 30
well,
points.
It's 0.15, so it's only-
0.15.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
$15.
All right, $1,500. So, yeah, I'll think about that when I have finished painting everything else. The wife lets me buy another repulsor.
So what are some of our takeaways about Slaanesh? What did we learn today? I guess is kind of what I'm going on here.
Well, I didn't really learn it, but Steeds of Slaanesh, still one of my favorite models in the game.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's talk about the models. I mean,
Oh.
shit, I'm even glossing over that. That chariot, the chariot of
That thing
excess
is busy as fuck.
That thing
Yeah.
is huge.
Oh.
It's like 13 feet wide.
Oh, wow.
I
The
think
actual model.
Yeah, you can't pick it up without 17 spike injuries.
Oh, geez.
It's crazy
'cause
spiky.
It's crazy spiky. Gorgeous model though. I think it was like the first time for me that I noticed demons were. I mean, Ted, you're the artist, but to me, it's super airbrushy. If that makes sense. I like the way the kind of
Oh, that
colors
sounds
blended
really
in.
offensive, actually.
Well, it's something
They're
I see
perfect.
where I like the Great Unclean one, the new Great Unclean one I see from GW. I'm not a fan of the model from the pictures of it, just because it looks like the skin looks super clean. It reminds me of like Oogie Boogie from A Nightmare Before Christmas.
So I think like my take. Well, this is a digression, but like
Sure.
the whole Nurgle line in general is a little bit cleaner than.
Right. It's
But that's
super
the
clean.
way they're choosing to paint it. I think
Sure.
it looks better. It can be
Yeah,
photographed better that way.
I've seen quite a few dirty ones.
Yeah,
Like the purple to white fades that they did with the Slaanesh line were like very.
that makes sense.
It makes sense for them, but they're like super great looking models. The crabs, the Slaaneshi, the demonettes of Slaanesh. I first saw those in like 96, 97 when they're like monopose, like
God, when it was-
YMCA.
What's that?
91, 92. Ted, what year did we see Demonettes?
Fuck, I don't know. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Old
Back
metal
in
ones.
1973.
Yeah.
I think actually we sculpted the
still
first ones. Remember that? You and I sculpted
Oh,
the
you're
first.
right.
Yeah, that's right.
Because
When we founded the company.
Because we couldn't afford the ones that had the scorpion, because the old demonettes had scorpion tails too, not just pincers. They were half scorpion, half man, half woman.
And you had.
I was really hoping you would run with that joke, but you didn't.
Sorry.
Yeah.
And then, but they all like an old YMCA pose where they were doing.
Everything's just straight up.
And then you had to go those really rad resculpts. And remember when they had the last chance to order for demons last year from the web store?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Everyone went crazy because those demonettes are gorgeous models. They're entirely inappropriate for modern Games Workshop.
Yeah.
But they look
why it was the last
amazing.
chance.
Yeah. And now we have like our plastic multi-part demonettes that still look super good.
They do. I mean, I don't know. I can accept the fact that they like PG'd it, you know, but because they do look good. But I don't know. Yeah, those steeds looked really, really tasty.
As long as the boxes of Orc Boys still come with those giant orc wieners that you can, in case you didn't want to wear the cod pieces, you could have them out there to show how tough your orcs were.
God, I gotta find those wieners. Apparently, I've been.
I remember, like, well, obviously being like 12, 13 when I started just buying a bunch of random stuff. I bought like a steed of Slaanesh to put together. And I just remember giving up on it because I couldn't glue the fucker together.
The metal ones?
Yeah, the metal one.
I have a fully painted metal steed with no rider at home for no. I don't even know why I have it, but it was one. It's still one.
It's one of the ones that's blowing raspberries, right? It has the face like
Yeah.
the tongue just
Looks like the mutie rider or the.
oh
steed.
yeah. But like it just made me think they run around and feel like they're just farting the whole time.
The aardvarks.
Keeper of Secrets, now the only unupdated demon prince. Oh no, demon prince. Oh, greater demon. Yeah.
It's one of the few models that I think GW will actually legitimately let you use a third party or a seriously convert it up because they haven't done anything with it, and it's in what 11 million years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, plus they've
I
actually.
mean, I think your timeline's a little off.
I don't know. I'm not good at math.
But I mean, on the plus side now,
Statistics
compared to the other three greater
2/3 of
demons,
blah,
the Forge World one is actually pretty in line scale wise now.
Yeah.
And that's
Ain't nobody got $200 for a demon prince. Come on.
especially the Slaanesh one.
Yeah.
God, I think it's a monster.
Yeah, it's
Well,
disgustingly huge.
God, I feel bad for my buddy or our friend Sean who dropped his. It shattered into a million pieces. Like that's the I mean, I'd rather drop
Slaanesh driving
Nurgle.
pleasure from his pain right there.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
All the little spikies fall off. Oops. Hello.
Whoa.
Like I said, I think that we will be.
I'll just throw my phone on top of the amp.
I think we'll get an update of the line eventually, especially kind of the greater demon things. Like I said, I think it's going to hold on for Age of Sigmar to kind of
to release back to like we freed Slaanesh.
yes, because that's going to be like a major plot. We have like the Millennium Portal storyline going on there right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought you said Millennium Portal, and I was like, what is Millennium Portal?
That's the 40K version. It's all a linked universe. Right. Shared story.
It's a spacecraft.
Right.
But I can't see
The
them.
Millennium Portal.
I can't see them like.
run in 2 parsecs.
I can't see them dropping.
It's a lot faster these days.
So that thing's a hunk of junk. I can't see them setting up that kind of huge teaser egg without wanting it to pay off. And I don't think they would be like, oh yeah, I mean 40K, let's just have it pay off there. Yeah. Especially when they can just like, slap a sticker on the box. I almost like when I was a kid went for a demon army purely because I could play both. Well, yeah, I could play both. You know, like they could be 40K and they could be fantasy. Just one of the dual lines. But then I didn't want to be judged for having like square or round bases in fantasy, which was kind of my go-to.
All you had to
time.
do was wait 20 years.
Yeah.
If you'd only
I was ahead of my time.
Now you're judged. Now if you got square bases, you're like.
Didn't the old school like second edition demons just come with square bases?
Yeah.
Well, because they were universal between both systems. So
they didn't sell them. I think it was like up until a few years ago they started packaging them with both.
Yeah.
You know, for a long time it was just like square. That's all you get. Enjoy. It's fantasy unit.
I learned about Slaanesh. Like I think my biggest takeaway from the whole thing. I did.
Wow. That's good.
Oh, that was my biggest takeaway from the whole thing was that where him's power comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Where,
that was a big one for me too.
For the bit where
and apparently for Dave too.
Like the pride thing for me, it was all like, oh yeah, it's just a bunch of guys jerking off in a room too much, and then oops, Slaanesh all of a sudden, like don't touch your pee-pee, otherwise you summon Slaanesh. But it's like, no, don't take pride in your work, otherwise Slaanesh.
I think that's actually how the Eldar talk. That's how they teach their kids the little lesson at night to scare them to go to sleep. Now, if you touch your pee-pee, Slaanesh is going to come in and touch you.
Crab claw.
Or maybe if it's like dark out, or like go to bed and touch your pee-pee. I don't know. It's really, but yeah, like I said, it's so wide and varied, and I think people have just kind of got stuck in their heads. It's all dicks and titties,
right?
And that's
Dave.
why Slaanesh isn't there.
That's what Slaanesh is to me. So,
but to
I
me,
didn't learn anything this episode.
It's much more interesting.
So you got stuck on was it the fourth or the third?
It's much more interesting as kind of a plot driver and like a story driver as like any kind of pride or any kind of pleasure or kind of like, even if you're toiling in an Imperial factory 30 hours a day and your boss is like, good job. Your boss has just damned you for
Crab claw tuggy.
like just damned you forever, and it's just like that's so insidious, and I think that's almost more insidious than like gene stealer cults, because humanity as a whole, oh man, prideful bunch of dicks. I'll tell you that.
So Ted's in there toiling away, just working day in day out, and I come in and go, hey, great job, Ted. And then Ted cries a tear, and Slaanesh licks it off his face.
With a spiky tongue.
It's a pretty tongue. It's not spiky.
I mean, to
It's
you,
perfect tongue.
Thank
Well,
you.
not to me. It wouldn't be spiky at all because I'm still toiling away. I just
spiky tongue. Stealing.
For Sanguinelli, I gave him a compliment.
Oh, doomed me. Wow, Dave actually complimented me.
Well, that guy's gonna pass me. I better compliment him. So that Slaanesh takes him away.
Wow. So it's like packing the fat boy when you go camping.
Yeah.
Shove. Go bear.
So Slaanesh can't become fully engorged, if you will, until every last Eldar is destroyed.
Yeah,
right.
He is a full semi right now.
Right.
But
half semi.
like
Semi chubby.
Yeah, just kind of just trying to push rope right now.
Got a lot of whiskey dick going on.
A little bit of a whiskey dick going on until every single Eldar is gone. Which actually now with Inari and kind of Enid coming
stealing
down,
part of the power, right?
stealing part of the power. So now we're at a point where, well, if all the Eldar die, do they suddenly get reborn as star gods, or do we get fucked over by a Slaanesh being like, oh yeah,
Wow.
So wait, Yenneid,
because they both have the same goal of uniting all
Yenneid
the
is
stars.
actually Mormon.
What?
Is that what you're saying there? Because they get reborn as store gods, as their own kind of gods afterwards. Is that what the deal is? Never mind.
Oh man, now I just
This
want.
this part brought to you by LDS, long dick suckers.
I mean,
I am so confused.
very confused. But now I have this really cool image of just two dire Avengers knocking door to door in craft worlds, being like
Little white
"Hi,
shirts
Good,
and
good day to you.
with their helmets on.
You read Ghost Warrior. That's literally what they did. They walked up to Landon's craft world and they were like, dunk, dunk, dunk. Hey, you heard about Yenneid? It's pretty sweet. Saves
They're
our
like,
souls.
have we told you about our Lord and Savior Need? Oh, I'm really busy right now. Well, we'd love to help you with that
Yeah, what
and
do you
talk
have?
to you about.
Could you go on this quest to discover some sort of gene stealer old craft world? See what we got.
Side story, like when I lived in a different state, I did have Mormons that visited me once a week to talk about Jesus, and they helped me with dishes every week.
What? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because they're like, oh, I'm a little busy. He was like, I can help you with your chores. So they sat and literally
That's
I watched
awesome.
two guys do my dishes, and they talked about Jesus.
When I was in my early 20s, my wife, when I was married for a year, had some Mormons redo our ceiling.
What?
They'll literally do, okay, this is a life hack, pro tips. They'll literally do anything to talk to you about Jesus.
They do not come to Spinard. They need to come to Spinard more often
Well,
to my neighborhood.
They'll do anything to talk to you about Jesus, except get shot. So
Shit.
Even Mormons have limits. They will not go to
We don't
Spinard.
want to die for this shit.
it's not worth it.
Oh, that's too bad.
Look at this Bernard place.
I had
Wish
like
I'd gotten sent
I had
to Thailand.
retired Mormons come to our neighborhood, but they weren't even like proselytizing. Like, oh, you're not Mormon? Oh, that's cool. All right, peace out. Have a good day.
Can we come to your Bollywood movie night?
Is that Jack Daniels?
Is this a hobby session? What's going on in here?
Yeah, Slaanesh.
Yeah, I liked Slaanesh. I felt like I learned more about, and it rounded the god out because, like you
It
said,
really did, yeah.
It was just kind of one purpose.
Like, to me, it
Yeah.
was just like I said, the god of dicks and titties that people complained was being put away because PG.
Right.
But if people did any goddamn research, then they'd realize that it's just they're refocusing.
It's easier just to say this is terrible on the internet than it is.
It's
to
like
actually
the-
research.
I like that. Like you're like they should do the goddamn research, and like we just finally did the research.
What are you talking about?
But I think that's great. Like
Both John and I have known
so
this
much.
for like months.
Right.
We talked about
Years
it months
even.
ago.
Yeah.
You know, I ran into him at cars, and we just started talking about dicks and titties, and then we had to
Hey,
research it right
go
there.
ahead and look up Lexicanum Slaanesh. We need to look.
Don't
up
do
dicks
that.
and
Don't
titties.
do that. Don't cite our sources. We're the spiky bits of podcast, borrowing content
God.
from everyone.
Come
Oh,
on.
gosh.
I'm trying to get us more followers right now. There's a giant crusade against spiky bits.
Oh my gosh.
If you want to know more, click your screen now.
Yeah.
So I love that. Like I think going back to the idea that like Slaanesh is like the whipping boy of the chaos gods. Like I really dug that. I thought that was really cool. That like everybody's just like smacking him on the back of the head, like get out of the way, fucking give me that elder god. I'm gonna poke her.
Just
And, but I want to. This is a
gluing
scrappy
like
little god.
gluing a quarter to the ground and making them pick their up.
It's a
Guys,
nipple
look what I'm
quarter.
doing to
Why is this
Slaanesh.
quarter glued here? Don't judge my art. I'm the Lord of Change.
You can have one more coin there, Slaanesh. One more. Oh, I need one more.
Why is Slaanesh mopping the driveway in the rain? Oh, corn.
And I like the idea that like I thought it was kind of weird that the Imperium was kind of hip to that and was like part of their reason or justification for making everybody toil forever, endlessly, with no form of happiness whatsoever was for their own good.
Yeah.
I think that's just one of those happy coincidences
Yeah.
where they were doing it anyway. And they're like, "Oh yeah, you're doing this to stop Slaanesh." You know, yeah, stop Slaanesh. That's why we're
Not to put
doing
food
it.
on the table. I honestly believe that Slaanesh is the most powerful, or it truly
be.
has the potential to be
Yeah,
the most
absolutely.
powerful.
Oh, for sure.
Right
Just
there.
because you look at it in Nurgle, all right, you're killing everything off, plagues, great. What happens when everybody dies? What happens when everything's dead? Where's your power come from?
Yeah.
Corn, same thing. What happens when there's no more skulls? And because it's grimdark, that's
Yeah.
like 20 minutes from now. So
Well, I think Nurgle isn't about killing everybody off. I think that's
No,
kind of like a
he's
misnomer.
about-
He wants everybody to be like infected and be miserable in their infection, but never
happy.
die.
Happy.
Right.
Like
happy.
the movie,
They're happy.
yes, the movie
Right.
Philadelphia, but Nurgle.
Everyone has AIDS.
The movie Rent,
and,
but
and
with
then you know,
Nurgle.
Zinch is eventually going to run out of power also. I mean, there's,
5,000, 2,100, 600 Nurglings.
It's true.
that's a lot of Nurglings.
Yeah.
Side note: they revealed the Greater Unclean One kit, and it comes with 7 Nurglings, including Sorcerer Nurgling and Chaos Lord Nurgling.
What?
And you know what?
Sidebar, I am sick of sassy Nurglings.
Why? Everybody loves sassy Nurglings.
Yeah, but there's like 30 of them now.
yeah, there's a few too many. I was wanting to do like a little tiny Nurgling diorama kind of thing where
Now you have to do
just
like
all of
30
them
of them.
Well, you have to spend like $200 to get all the Nurglings at this point. So
Why don't you just make like a Cheers bar diorama, but make it Nurgling?
Oh,
So
that's
I just
great.
would get like a bunch of dirty old hobbyists sitting around.
Maybe put like a
airbrushing stuff.
Maybe
and-
put like a
In my garage?
yeah.
Oh, intense garage. Yeah.
Put like a fro wig on the Great Unclean One, and they'll be like Nurg. It's a great joke if you were alive in the early 90s.
Of course, I was alive in
Cheers.
the early '90s.
You know, I'm
used to
just
stay
letting
up-
our listeners
I used
know.
to stay up late to watch Cheers. My parents wouldn't turn around. Hopefully, they wouldn't turn around, see me behind the couch watching Cheers and all the other
Masturbating.
shows.
Yeah.
This has been
Oh,
like,
Sam.
a huge source of inspiration for like because I was like
Cheers has.
yeah
Of course.
absolutely
Naturally.
but like for like that Black Library submission things, I missed it last year because I didn't do anything. But I'm like, I'm gonna give it a try this year. But like the whole research into Slaanesh and like how easily you can kind of like subtly corrupt. I was like, ooh, there's some real good like kind of sources for stories out of that there.
I think
So-
it's so 3-dimensional versus like a lot of the chaos gods. I think like Korn, like what can you do?
Skulls,
Okay, there's
brr.
this big like war comes and takes over the planet. Okay, well that was exciting. All right,
Yeah.
they made public art. Well, as they left, and then
Didn't get paid for it.
yeah, got exposure.
Not even $5.
got some exposure.
God damn it! Why am I doing this?
What was it? Guy Haley, right? Is the one that wrote Shadow Sword?
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
So do you think Guy Haley had like this awesome Slaanesh idea because he was like Slaanesh is awesome, and then just kind of worked the Shadow Sword in around it because he needed a hero in the end?
Oh no, because it's a sequel, so it's part of a trilogy.
Right, but
We
do you-
gotta
do
go
you think
back
he
and read
wrote
the
the
first
first
one.
one. Then he was like, "All right, I've got this great idea. Slaanesh. And in theory, that what's his face? The fat,
So I have to
fat nephew was actually supposed to be the hero and stop everything.
I have
at
to
the
be
end,
completely transparent here and say that I haven't read the first book.
No,
So
I haven't
can't
read
make
that.
that
Neither have I. Neither have I.
Complete disclosure.
I think just Chaos is a really, well, I mean, easy is the wrong word, but classic
sounds
enemy
right.
for the Imperium, and especially like to kind of get a good full story. I mean, your other option for a story like Shadow Sword would be orcs. But there's no kind of huge insidious orc threat that's interesting as a reader from the other side.
So like you couldn't make like a 13-book series about orcs as a.
Oh, I mean you can, but I mean the
12.
thing about that,
You're probably capped at 12.
Yeah.
I don't think 13.
that 12 book orc series.
Like it wasn't a Booker's dozen.
There's literally like zero from the point of view of the orcs. I mean, and that's important because it's a really hard person to point of view to write from. Whereas Shadow Sword, you could have that kind of. And there's teases throughout that book that it's Slaanesh and that it's kind of corruption from that level. You knew it was some kind of corruption, but it escalated
quickly.
Unless
3 days wasn't all it took for that book to happen, because that's what it felt like. But so what I'm saying is did Guy Haley have this idea where like the hero would actually be somebody who resists Slaanesh at the end, and GW said, nah, do a sequel to Baneblade. It sold a lot of books. Put a Shadow Sword in there instead. And so he had to like rewrite the whole thing.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm going to say...
Well, hold on a second. I'm going to give him a call.
Okay.
You're going to call Guy Haley?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you wanted to know.
Isn't he in
Hold on.
Isn't he in England? He's sleeping right now.
Yeah, I mean, we talk all the time. Wait, he's not in my contacts?
No, it's Hal. Not Hayl.
Yeah,
I didn't put it in my phone book.
No,
I'm sorry.
fair.
I'll call him next time.
I'll just tweet him later. So, yeah. So take away.
John's like,
yeah. Take away for me is literally
why.
Isn't it Haley?
Haley. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, continue to.
So my takeaway from
We're not
Slaanesh
gonna
is
know
that
in
the
time.
demons are that Slaanesh actually, after reading this, does make me want to do like an Age of Sigmar Slaanesh Demons army, just because.
Well, this isn't an Age of Sigmar.
Right.
podcast.
So
a different GW owned
your
property that also uses demons army, because
Okay.
I don't feel like doing. I'm all Nurgle in 40K.
But you got all your purple marines, which are their thing. So you could easily
easily get like
except
a
that the
demon
purple marines are
contingent.
pretty much covered in Nurgle pox.
very clean Nurgle pods.
Yeah, very clean. It's all.
You
under
could
the
basically
armor.
look at it like Audi buttholes. If you
Oh,
really
and probably
wanted to.
because they fought against orcs in the first book, and the Baneblade book they fought against orcs.
Oh, okay.
You can't have the same bad guy twice.
Well, I'm just saying.
Like the prequel Star Wars trilogy can't have the same bad guy in any of the films.
So
That's what made it amazing.
So anyway, yeah, it's possible.
just to
Possible.
recap, you've gotten a Cheers reference. There's also been 2 or 3 Star Wars references, some Star Trek.
That's
Age of
okay.
Sigmar.
Don't make
literally-
an Age of Sigmar reference. That's it. You can make a Star Trek reference.
Literally every reference from me, but 40K.
I think at one point in time there was a Chips and possibly a Welcome Back Cotter, but I'm not sure.
Welcome back, Cotter.
So for our listeners who are in their 80s,
It's been a really good episode
Yeah.
for that. Oh, what you're talking
Great.
about.
Leave
I
it to Beaver.
remember Slaanesh when they had titties and also Cheers. Sam was good. Diane was a demonette, wasn't she?
Oh, she's looking war.
And they brought in Kirstie Alley. She was definitely a seeker of secrets.
I mean, I think we're going to. I mean, I know this is weird me saying now.
I'm just trying to buy time here for you to look through your phone.
I think we're a little off rails.
Okay, guys.
So let's wrap it up then.
Take a break and
Ted,
wrap it up.
We're going to take a break and wrap up.
Wrap it up.
Yo, dog, what's up? It's the M to the A to the GOS, here to surprise your boy, Jerry Annis. Haha, he has no idea. We about to pimp his night.
Hi, I'm Jerry. I'm 22 years old, and my night is a little worse for wear. It got handed down through several generations of my family. You see, we've been protecting the citizens of this world for, centuries now. It's gonna get a lot harder to keep the village folks safe now, though, with the outdated gun. I mean, I don't even have a Kerberos gun. It's tough. Worst of all, My father was very angry at my mother during the body ceremony, so she left him for a few. Those emotions remain. At my own bonding, I felt pretty confused by the feelings I was having, and to be honest with you, I can't look at my mother the same way again. We used to be close, but now that I has ruined.
Yo, it's your boy, the Megos.
Imperial Might, is this real? Holy shit.
Yo, it's real, Jerry. Now give me your keys. We're gonna pimp your night. Let's go to West Sector Customs.
It's actually nearly bonded to me.
Let's bring West Sector Customs here. All right, yo. So, check it. Our boy Jerry here needs a fly night so he can keep on representing his family and protecting the small folk from Xenos invasion, all right? So, weapons. What you got, priest?
So what Jerry got here is a stock 33 Millennium Knight Paladin with a broken heavy stubble and a battle can that battle cannot. What I'm going to do is drop the Reaper Chainsaw low to the ground so that when the small folks go cruising by, they know who's the boss.
Nice.
Then we're going to take the heavy stubble out and we're going to put in a holographic projector that constantly projects the image of his mom's in front of the knight at all times and get your boys rage up.
All the better to smite the enemies of the Emperor with.
Exactly. And as for the battle can, we got to modify it so instead of firing bullets, it's going to fire beats. 36,000 decibels of sick beats dropping out that speaker.
Word. All right. What are we doing with that machine spirit IT guy?
Jerry's Knight is slow to respond and hasn't had an update in years, so we're going to do what we do best.
Preach it.
Turn it off and then on again. Should speed up the reaction time.
All right, boy. Paint. What are we doing?
Jerry's Knight represents the color of the house and family, and it's important that we respect the traditions and heritage.
I asked paint. What are we doing?
Like green.
Sounds tight-eyed. Let's get to work. Yo, Jerry, we've been working hard on your knight, and he is ready. Are you?
So ready. We have an incoming orc invasion. I must protect my world.
All right, here is the curtain, and here is your knight.
What have you done? Why is the Reaper so low? Why are my ears bleeding, and why is it green?
Well, we out, yo. You officially been pent. Ah.
Why is my mother 30 feet tall in front of me?
Hey, welcome back.
So how?
Oh,
how,
cool. Okay, I get it now. I got what we're doing.
Oh.
Fake break.
How are Ted's nuts in your mouth? Because you've been doing it all night. So
man,
I've watched you cram it in there, and you keep choking on them. I've noticed.
I love pistachios.
Yeah.
Yeah, pistachios are
Salty.
so good. So good.
Salty,
It's the salt and pepper ones, right?
salty like
Good.
It's not too peppery. No.
salty like 40K players.
Speaking of that, I saw the greatest post from the worst kind of person.
What?
Someone asked
What did I post?
if they would. No, it's not Dave Slow Play Ian.
Oh,
Oh shit.
It was some guy asked a question for him. Would it be okay if I was to shoot with Abaddon using his top knot as a point of reference, then snap the top knot off at the end of my turn so my opponent couldn't see or shoot back?
like magnetize it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
If that's you, fuck you. I mean, really.
I really
that's-
hope they were joking. I really hope.
No,
they were.
like it was entirely serious.
So off track, completely unrelated to anything else. The modeling stuff that you can do these days is really disadvantageous to the players. Like the Primaris Reavers. Here, have this giant grappling gun that goes 5 inches away from your dude that you could see.
I think
hanging out.
they did mention that like banner poles and antennas and stuff like that. You
Don't
can't.
count.
Yeah, they don't count.
They don't count.
So that would be.
But if
one
you
of
put a
those
banner on it,
instances.
though, it totally counts.
If
Well,
you
if it's a banner, I don't think you can shoot it.
if you put that grappling hook on the Reaver and you're able to take it from your house to a gaming store and play a game and take it back without it breaking, you're a better person than me.
You win the tournament.
You win the tournament right away because it's literally impossible.
Well, Steve was winning the tournament so far, but if you can get us a picture from your home with the grappling still on there.
We've announced the tentative winners, Steve, John, and Phil, and then also in the running, Ted. But all he has to do is he will take first place automatically by sending us this picture as soon as he gets home. And there it is. Oh, it's in one piece.
Wow.
Sorry, Steve. You lost.
Got to look at the metadata and make sure this was taken at the right time. Yeah. So anyway,
I mean, I carry mine in a cardboard box, so I'm not really concerned about breaking them.
I want to say thank you to everyone for all of the social media engagement, guys, we've been getting. Lots of good feedback for all of our wonderful Christmas stories.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of people interested in Dave's finger painting competition.
It's going. It's
They're,
going
they're
great.
not, they're
A lot
not
of-
understanding the rules where they're using brushes and actual paint and showing beautiful things.
So I think there's 3 days left when this drops.
When this
right?
drops, there should be 3 days. 3 days left at midnight. We got a couple entries
Midnight
that
Dave
seem
time.
to be already done. In I mean,
DST,
Facebook.
Dave Standard Time.
It's supposed to be 15 days, but Facebook's like, sorry, it can't be more than 14 from
Knock, knock.
Yeah. But we got a bunch of good entries. We got a couple people from overseas already doing in.
How do they? Are they going to
Dave's
get their
sitting there
submissions in on
figuring
time?
out, like
I hope
shipping
so.
and handling.
Because you have to. What Royal Mail isn't quite as fast as FedEx, right?
No, it's totally just as fast. I got. I think it's actually faster than FedEx.
Yeah.
A wonderful
send their
person
pictures?
Dave is in
Yeah.
contact with was able to get
That joke was
Dave
really funny up until you ruined it, Dave.
It's because it wasn't funny, Ted.
Your face isn't funny.
was able to get Dave and
Yes, it
therefore me a wonderful Sly Marble miniature.
So-
Being that our nearest Games Workshop is Eastern Canada,
That's not really a place.
that's not really a place. I was able
Sorry to anybody in Eastern Canada who's. In fact, we do have some
We
listeners
do.
in Eastern
We
Canada.
had someone
Sorry
who
about that. You guys
invited
really. Yeah. Oh, we were just invited. That's right.
What?
We were on the Facebook page. There was
they
somebody
were
talking
like,
about it.
we should do like a Mob Rules tour where
Yeah.
we couch surf people's houses and get lose tournament games.
And go to tournaments in other
Jeez.
places.
It's hard enough to get us to show up together like one place every 2 weeks, let alone in Canada.
Don't let people behind the curtain.
What are you talking about? We all live together. We're friends. It's like it's kind of like the Odd Couple with Ted. So,
And I'm the guy who eats everyone's food. Yeah, so yeah, thank you for the engagement. Thank you. Like I said, I was actually looking at Eastern Canada and like going over there anyway.
Well, because you can see it from your house.
I can see it from my house.
Right.
Around the other side because the world is flat.
Right. Russia one side, Eastern Canada from the other.
my God.
Obviously.
But yeah, no, it's been super nice. Like it's been super weird. Like the past couple of months, just we had a lot more people kind of getting in contact with us and kind of saying, "Hey."
Yeah.
It's all stuff I super enjoy. And super enjoy hearing. If there's like, I like hearing that stuff I did a year ago was like super good.
Yeah,
Good.
that was great.
It would be nice to hear it a year ago, but
You
Would have
did!
been nice to have gotten
maybe.
that notification, 3 weeks before we recorded the almost Christmas episode or whatever, so we could have done
I
something.
like
for it.
almost Christmas. That's good,
Yeah.
and I did. I was just being a pissy little person. For
It
no
was
reason.
me, but
Yeah,
Ted created a fake Facebook account just to.
but I'm,
Just a
Steve
comment.
McSteverson.
I'm still a fan of the 40K movie parodies or things
You
like
know,
Yeah, it
that.
was fun.
It's fun to do.
It made me think of more stuff. We should probably revisit that at some point in time, but not
Nah.
right now.
Nah.
A year from now, when we all forget what we wanted to remember.
So it's Johnny 5, and yeah, so
I
it's
want to
good
see a
stuff.
remake of Short Circuit, but with like a Necron Wraith instead of Johnny 5.
Nah, I would rather I would rather see a remake of it with
Or
the
RoboCop with a Tomb Destroyer instead of a 209.
Cataphracta. What are they? The little tank tread robot ones.
Cataphron.
Oh, yeah, Cataphron
I would
instead
rather
of
see it with a
209.
Cataphron.
And then like
It's just the fifth one in his squad.
Damn, I
rolling
gotta
out,
watch
and
that
he's just
movie
kinda
again.
a toilet.
Hold up.
Does it really?
RoboCop 1 does.
Oh.
The effects aren't great. The story's amazing.
Yeah, no, I wasn't talking about RoboCop. I was talking about
Short circuit.
Short Circuit.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't-
How does
not
batteries
hold
not
up.
included hold up?
Pretty well.
Batteries
Yeah?
not included never held up.
Whatever.
Was not good from the
Cut
start.
his
dude.
mic.
Come on.
Cut his mic. Oh, and then the other
And
thing I
Dave's
wanted
out.
to say, speaking about kind of weird shit we've done over the past couple of years, Custodes are getting their own codex. And man, are those jet bikes amazing.
All the bolters.
So
Hurricane bolters on the front, looks like. Some missiles on there.
potential.
Terminators?
Looks like you can trade out.
Getting a
different
character.
equipments.
Looks like they're expanded to cookery as well because one of the new characters is holding a pizza paddle with some
And a
Imperial
chef
Eagles
hat.
on it and a chef hat.
Right.
The Swedish custode.
God, I've been like just waiting to figure out how to paint them just properly. I know gold to silver, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I'm like trying to find like a nice way of like fading that, and it's been like really hard to like come up with a good system that
Sure, I mean-
I like.
I cheat with my gold.
Duncan had a really good guide, but you'd hate it because it's the way I paint as opposed to the way you paint. You'd be like,
Yeah.
this is
Huh.
terrible.
Paint
What's
by
happening?"
numbers. All right, that's
Yeah,
cool.
literally. The the one thing that I feel like my Primaris only army is missing is custom jet bikes because they're sexy looking.
Really?
Will they be purple?
No,
Why don't you put demonettes in there? I mean,
was-
that's like your
yeah.
whole limitation to like
Right.
whether or not you can put it in the
So
army.
the purple Primaris
Or
army is perfect.
orc cheerleaders. One of the two.
You find me an orc cheerleader model, I'll paint it.
I mean, they're on eBay. They made them.
Hold on, let
They
me-
had saggy
I'm gonna-
squig boobies.
Yeah, but he's got to buy it, and he can't afford it right now.
Let me call my buddy Guy Haley real quick. I'm sure he has a bunch of them.
You sure you don't want to call it Cyanide Interactive? They probably got a whole slew of models over there from the Blood Bowl video game they had to research off of to be able to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. That's good.
Good
I don't
times.
remember any of the cheerleaders though. Did they have orc cheerleaders?
Oh, yeah, at the halftime.
Oh yeah.
Did they? Oh,
They
I
had
remember
cheerleaders
that.
for every. If you were playing against orcs and they were the home team,
okay.
the orc cheerleaders had the big floppy boobs that were doing the
They're called squigs.
No way.
No, they
Yeah.
had
No.
on the cyanide one they did not have squigs.
Which
They had
was the
tassels
that
on
wasn't
their
the
big
latest
floppy
one, was
boobs.
it?
Yeah, and the
Was the
latest
latest
one.
one?
Yeah, Blood Bowl 2.
Shit, I don't remember that.
You have to check it out.
Oh yeah, seriously.
Well, I mean, I think that's.
I think you can probably get it from Fred Meyer instead of Deathwing.
I have it.
Oh,
I just have to go back because I played the campaign and then I was
All
like, all right, I can't do it freeform, so I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Anyway.
that's a good place to leave it with floppy orc titties.
yeah.
Sleep well.
Well, I mean, it's Slaanesh, so yeah, floppy orc titties.
Can't believe we didn't talk about Dick Titans. Just
we
man.
already did, Dave.
We already did.
Why don't I'll just cut that part out and add it to the end
fair
of
Yeah,
that.
because now it's going to be accurate, Dave. Great. Now he has to go through it piece by piece.
Jerk. All right, everybody.
All right, kids. You have a
good night.
great night. We'll see you in a couple weeks, or we'll talk to you in a
Yeah,
couple weeks.
whatever you download this. Bye. This episode of Mob Rules has been brought to you by Mob Rules Media. Please join our Facebook group to be part of the conversation at facebook.com/mobrulesak. You can also email us at themob@tophat-arts.com. Thanks for checking us out, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
Today on Mob Rules.
We talk about dick titties.
oh, we talk about. You can't steal my dick titties.
That's pretty much just it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dick titties.
Uh,
All that and so much.
No.
Now you gotta read it.
no, what were we doing?